but this period of time feels very similar to March through the end of October, early November 2008. Back then, the sector had a short-term high in mid-March, and it was pushed down over the course of the summer, very similar to the way it was pushed down this year, and it was in correlation with the stock market. And then at the end of October, and who knows what the trigger was back then, but part of it was, the announcement of QE, but that's not the only thing. The financial system was falling apart, and we started to see a flight to safety into the precious metals. And gold and silver started taking off in late October that year, and the mining stocks followed a couple days later in early November. And between early November and the end of the year, GDX more than doubled, and the Amex Gold Bug Index, also known as the HUI, that index doubled in that period of time. And I'm not saying that we're going to see a move like that this time around. However, I think it's very possible that we will see some type of move that again will be trading at a higher level by the end of the year than where we are now. But in between now and then, I think we will see some type of pullback. So I just wanted to comment briefly on this FTX thing. And for me, in my opinion, it'll be a goddamn disgrace if the U.S. regulators don't incarcerate SBF and his mealy little girlfriend for what they've perpetrated. And I'm not sure that it's going to happen. And I'm not even sure if a U.S. criminal court would have standing to do that, because the company's based in the Bahamas. Lawyers in the audience would know the answer to that much better than I would. But this guy has destroyed a lot of wealth. He's caused a lot of pain and agony to unsuspecting investors. And it looks like going on behind the scenes, there was a little more than just fraud on behalf of he and his girlfriend. It looks like there might have been some help with some prominent U.S. officials, but we'll see how this unfolds. However, I do think, and we did see a bit of a bounce in the precious metal sector as that whole thing was unfolding. I do think it's going to force a lot of people to rethink their thinking on private cryptos and on Bitcoin, etc. And I think we could see a fair amount of that money start to flow into the precious metal sector, because it's money that obviously was, well, I think a lot of it was speculative money that piled into the cryptos, etc. But I think some people were earnestly of the belief that cryptocurrencies are a replacement for gold. Well, I don't think we've ever seen blow-ups as big as what we've seen in the cryptocurrency market this year. And FTX isn't the first blow-up. There's been at least 4 or 5 that I can recall off the top of my head. So enough pontificating on that. I just wanted to add a little note in here. The next issue of my Mining Stock Journal will be released this afternoon. This video is actually being recorded on Wednesday, and I think Chris posts it midday on Thursday. And in that issue, earlier today, I had a Zoom call with the co-founder of a junior micro cap project development company, trades for a little bit under 10 cents a share. I know the management well. I was involved in one of their previous success stories. They've had a couple of success stories where they take an asset and advance it and sell it for many multiples of what was put into it to a strategic investor. I think this is going to be their third wash, rinse, repeat situation like that, at least that I'm aware of. There may have been some others. But at any rate, I'm going to be featuring it or updating it anyway, because I've featured it in some previous issues and why I think this thing could be a home run. I do believe that it represents potential lottery ticket returns with a lot less than lottery ticket odds. But it is a high risk, high return situation. In addition, I have another new idea. It's another junior mining company that the CEO and myself have been trying to get together for a while to go over the story, and I wasn't really ready to do that in the spring and the summer because of the condition of the market and the fact that it was still in a downtrend. But I spent a fair amount of time with him on a Zoom call last week. And this is another company that I think has two potential development assets. One that's being advanced nicely. It's a historic mine, and it already has a potential strategic investor in place in its share base. And this is another of the junior microcap stocks that I like to follow that I think from the current price level offers at least a 5x return with a lot less risk than should be associated with a stock that has 5x potential. So that'll be an in-depth review on the company that will also be in the next issue of my Mining Stock Journal. So I'll see everyone in 2 weeks, and I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, happy and healthy.